Welcome back to Just MS News. I'm especially excited about our first two stories this week because we've been watching the potential of myelin repair and CAR T cell therapy for years. These ideas once felt distant, but now we're seeing a growing body of preclinical research along with early phase 1 studies beginning to explore what may be possible. This week, researchers are using lab grown mini brains to better understand myelin repair. Sheffield has treated its first MS participant with experimental CAR T cell therapy, and Cleveland Clinic has revised how its MS team responds when someone reports suicidal thoughts. There is a real reason for cautious optimism in the first two stories, but they remain early research. We will also look at the practical importance of the third story, then finish with a handful of other MS stories from the week that are worth checking out. Our first story this week is a look at myelin repair, and remarkably, this is now the third repair related story we have covered in roughly a month. The earlier stories range from preclinical research in cells and myelin models to an early phase 1 study in people that was primarily designed to examine safety. The latest project takes a different approach. Researchers at the Flow Ray Institute in Australia are using human stem cells to grow three-dimensional laboratory models of the brain, often called mini brains. These models contain myelin, the protective coating that surrounds nerve fibers and helps electrical signals travel efficiently through the nervous system. In multiple sclerosis, the immune system damages that myelin. Current MS treatment can reduce relapses and slow new disease activity, but there is still no approved treatment that can reliably repair damage that has already occurred. The research team, led by Dr. Samantha Barton, wants to better understand how the human brain naturally produces myelin. The researchers will examine which genes are involved in myelin formation inside the mini brain models. Identifying those genes could eventually help researchers discover drugs capable of encouraging myelin repair. This project is being supported through MS Australia's mid year research grants and is considered early, exploratory research. That distinction matters. This is not a clinical trial. No treatment has been tested in people, and the researchers have not demonstrated that the mini brains can repair MS damage. What they have created is a laboratory model that may help researchers study human myelin more accurately than simpler cell models or animal studies alone. The encouraging part is that researchers now have another tool for investigating one of the largest unmet needs in MS, repairing the damage left behind after myelin is lost. So, this does not change treatment today, but it adds another promising research direction to a growing month of myelin repair news. The takeaway is simple. Researchers are getting better tools for studying how myelin is made, but determining whether that knowledge can produce an effective treatment will require much more research. All right, on to our next story. A man with rapidly worsening multiple sclerosis has become the first patient in Sheffield to receive CAR T cell therapy as a part of an early clinical trial. The treatment is highly experimental and no benefit has been reported yet, but it marks an important step in testing a new way to target the immune system in difficult to treat MS. The patient, 40-year-old Newman Unis, received the treatment at Sheffield Teaching Hospital shortly before his birthday. He was the first person treated at the Sheffield trial site and reportedly the seventh participant treated in the wider international study. Newman was diagnosed with MS around 6 years ago. According to the hospital, his condition progressed quickly, and within months he needed crutches. He later lost much of his mobility and was no longer able to work or drive. The treatment being studied is called obictacogen autoglucosel, or obe-cel. This is a type of CAR T cell therapy that uses the patient's own immune cells. Doctors first collect T cells from the blood. Those cells are then modified in a laboratory so they can recognize a protein called CD19, which is found on many B cells. The modified cells are returned to the patient, where they are designed to seek out and destroy those B cells. B cells play an important role in the immune activity involved in MS. Researchers hope CAR T cell therapy may provide a deeper and longer lasting B cell depletion than existing treatments. The goal is to see whether this approach can better control MS that continues to worsen despite strong available therapies. However, this is a phase 1 trial. That means the main focus is safety, tolerability, and whether the treatment can be successfully delivered. The study is expected to include up to 18 participants with relapsing or progressive MS. Researchers will also look for early signs of possible benefit, but the trial is too small and does not include a control group, so it cannot prove that the treatment works. CAR T cell therapy also carries serious potential risk. They can include cytokine release syndrome and neurological complications, infections, prolonged low blood count, and reduced antibody levels. Participants therefore require preparatory immune depleting treatment, hospital stay, and close follow up after the infusion. Numanis said he hopes the treatment will stop further MS activity and allow physiotherapy and help him regain some mobility. That is his personal hope. The hospital has not reported that his MS has stabilized or the mobility has improved. The study matters because it is one of the earliest formal trials of CAR T cell therapy, specifically in multiple sclerosis. It may be particularly relevant to people with relapsing or progressive MS that continues to worsen despite high efficacy treatments. But CAR T cell therapy is intended to control immune activity. It is not currently known to repair myelin, restore damaged nerves, or reverse established disability. The best takeaway is that a new immune targeting strategy has reached early human testing in MS, but it remains highly experimental. The first Sheffield treatment is an important trial milestone, not a positive treatment result. Researchers will now need to determine whether the approach is safe and whether it shows enough promise to move into larger studies. So we'll see. It'll be interesting. The next story focuses on an important part of multiple sclerosis that is often overlooked: mental health and suicide prevention. Sheffield Clinical Myelin Center for Multiple Sclerosis has revised its suicidal ideation protocol to help clinicians respond more clearly and consistently when a patient may be at risk. The protocol was originally developed about 15 years ago by psychologist Dr. Amy Sullivan and psychiatrist Dr. Elias Kwaiman. As the Malin Center's care team expanded, Cleveland Clinical says it became increasingly important to make the guidance easier to use across different specialties. The revised framework is intended for clinicians throughout the MS care team, including neurologists, rehabilitation therapists, speech language pathologists, and advanced practice providers. Cleveland Clinic psychologist Dr. Brianne Markley says identifying suicidal thoughts is one of the first steps. The updated protocol is designed to help clinicians move from screening to practical action. That can include assessing the level of risk, developing a personalized safety plan, reducing immediate dangers, arranging appropriate support, and coordinating emergency care when necessary. The article notes that screening tools such as the Patient Health Questionnaire 9 can help identify suicidal thoughts, but they may not always provide clinicians with clear instructions about what should happen next. The revised protocol is meant to help close that gap. The article also highlights several factors that may affect emotional health in people living with MS. These include depression, anxiety, social isolation, changes in physical or cognitive functioning, and the daily pressures of living with a chronic neurological condition. Cleveland Clinic says clinicians should pay particular attention to younger patients, people who have recently received an MS diagnosis, and those living with progressive forms of the disease. However, this article does not report the results of the clinical study, does not show that the resolved protocol has reduced suicidal attempts, hospital admissions, or deaths. Instead, it describes a standardized clinical approach intended to help care teams respond with greater confidence, consistency, and compassion. The protocol also provides a clearer process for communicating with emergency departments when a patient has active suicidal thoughts. That includes planning safe transportation and making sure critical clinical information is transferred clearly between healthcare teams. Dr. Markley says collaboration and trust are central to suicide prevention. The goal is to work with patients to identify warning signs, personal strengths, coping strategies, and sources of support before a crisis becomes more severe. The story is a reminder that comprehensive MS care involves more than neurological symptoms, medication, and MRI results. Emotional health, isolation, and psychological safety should also be part of routine care. For people living with MS, the main takeaway is that suicidal thoughts should be taken seriously and discussed without shame or judgment. For caregivers, friends, and family members, changes such as withdrawal, hopelessness, or growing isolation may be important reasons to encourage someone to speak with a healthcare professional. The revised Cleveland Clinic protocol is not a new treatment and is not yet shown to improve outcomes. Its importance is that it gives clinicians a clearer path from recognizing possible risk to taking meaningful action. The strongest message from this story is simple: mental health belongs within MS care, and people should be able to talk openly about suicidal thoughts and emotional distress without fear of judgment. All right, so we have some other stories that are great, but I'm trying to keep this to three main stories that are just going to be our deep dive summaries explaining my deep dives, really examining all angles of these stories, and then like just breaking it down for you guys. And then the last one is just going to be like there's maybe like a handful of stories that are worth checking out. So yeah, okay. Rethinking how MS clinician trials measure progress. MS specialist Dr. Ahmed Albidat argues that future clinical trials should look beyond relapse rates, MRI activity, and disability scales alone. He says researchers should also examine neuroprotection, long term function, and biomarkers that better show whether treatments are preserving the brain and nervous system. This is an expert commentary rather than a new trial result, but it raises important questions about how MS treatments are being evaluated. Another one to check out is Epstein Barr virus research moves toward vaccines and T cell therapies. Interesting, right? Research continued to investigate how Epstein Barr virus may contribute to the development of MS and whether targeting the virus could help prevent or treat the disease. Current approaches include experimental EBV vaccines and therapies designed to target infected cells. These strategies remained under investigation and are not established MS treatments, but they represent an important area to watch. Next, we have practical guidance for managing MS related foot drop. A new patient focused article review ways people with MS may manage foot drop, a symptom that can make it difficult to lift the front of the foot while walking. Options can include physical therapy, strengthening exercises, braces, functional electrical stimulation, and mobility aids. The article is general guidance rather than new research, but it may be useful for people experiencing changes in walking or balance. And we also have Ontario Disability Accommodation raise workplace questions. An Ontario community examines why governments can quickly introduce flexible work arrangement for major events while employees with disabilities often face lengthy and difficult accommodation processes. Although the article is not specifically about MS, the issue is relevant to people with fatigue, mobility limitations, or other symptoms affect their ability to work in person. All right. And then we have our one of our favorites, the A&W Burger to Beat MS Day. A&W Canada's annual Burgers to Beat MS campaign returns on August 20th. The fundraiser has supported Canadians affected by MS for 18 years and remains one of the country's most visible community fundraising events connected to multiple sclerosis. That's it for this week's Just MS News. The first two stories offer real reason for cautious optimism, but both remain early. Lab grown mini brains may help researchers better understand myelin repair, while CAR T cell therapy is only beginning to be studied in people with MS. Neither changes treatment today, but both are important areas to watch. The Cleveland Clinic study is also an important reminder that MS care must include mental health and that clinicians need clear systems for responding when someone asks for help. You can find links to all these stories along with a handful of other MS articles worth checking out in at justmultiplesclerosis.com. All the links to these stories are in the show notes, of course, but check out the website. And while you're there, there's an always on news feed, right? It's pumping in news at all the time. Every article that's about MS, it's coming through. I'm always trying to refine the system so it's more accurate, right? And I also added a Sudoku game right on the front. You can go into the menu, play Sudoku. It's great. I find it very relaxing. Maybe you do too. It's completely free and it's fun. I made a few different variations like classical, blah, blah, blah. If you like Sudoku, I suggest you go check it out. I would like it. Let me know what you think. And I found fun building it. So yeah. But anyway, thank you so much. If you made it this far, maybe make a comment. That'd be great. Anything to support, really appreciate it. And thank you very much. Just MS News. Boom, boom.